Jordan Hicks and his Eagle defensive mates will have a very tough challenge this week against the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints are really difficult to prepare for and to defend for a number of reasons. It starts with personnel, and the one player who may be the most difficult to match up to is Alvin Kamara. He's what I call a satellite back. Now, by that I mean he can line up in their base offense and he can run the ball. But what makes him really special is his ability to move all around the formation and be very dangerous as a receiver. That's the key part of being a satellite back. But the thing about Kamara is he doesn't necessarily need the ball to be a big factor. There are times they use him on the field at the same time with Mark Ingram. Two backs who are very, very good. And by the way, Mark Ingram is a very good receiver as well. Now here's Kamara initially on the left side of the formation. He's going to go in jet motion across the formation to the right. Now this is not window dressing. He's going across the formation for a reason. That's to get the eyes of the defense on him and maybe move them a little bit, because what they're going to do here is set up a screen back to the other side to Mark Ingram. You see Ingram catch it. There's only one defender there. He gets taken care of, and it becomes an explosive touchdown. So that was an example of Kamara not getting the ball but being a factor. Now we're going to see that again. Now when you study the tape of the New Orleans Saints offense, and this goes back to last year when Kamara was a rookie, one thing that really stands out is he predominantly lines up to the boundary side of the formation, to the short side of the field. He can do that being offset in the backfield, he can do it being in the boundary slot, or he could be outside to the boundary as he is right here. You see Kamara now, he's split as number one outside. Inside of him in the slot is Michael Thomas. And what the Saints do really, really well is they get Michael Thomas matched up inside on linebackers. So what you have here is Kamara outside, a dangerous receiving threat, Thomas inside, working on a linebacker. He runs the little bender behind the linebacker. Drew Brees, a master of timing and anticipation, puts the ball right on Thomas, and they score a touchdown in the final 20 seconds of the first half. Now, keep in mind, Kamara did not make any catches in what we just showed you, but he's dynamic as a receiver, and he often plays with Mark Ingram. Now, it'll be interesting to see how the Eagles choose to match up to that from a personnel standpoint, but this offense will be a real challenge for the Eagles defense.
All right, Ike, we saw Greg Cosell break it down there, how the Eagles may defend Alvin Kamara. When you have two running backs on the field with Kamara and Ingram, how do you think the Birds will line up?
Well, they've shown that if you get a personnel package like that, they may go to their nickel package. You saw earlier in the year, first game when they're playing the Atlanta Falcons, very similar offense to what the Saints do. You got Devontae Freeman out here, so you got Sidney Jones on him. You got Tevin Coleman here, and you got Malcolm Jenkins on this side responsible for him. So this personnel package, the Eagles are familiar with, so I would imagine this will be a way that Jim Schwartz tries to defend having both Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram in the game at the same time.
Do you think because the Eagles are so banged up in the secondary that that's really going to be a matchup that Sean Payton is looking for? Because Kamara has 14 total touchdowns, rushing and receiving second most in the NFL, and that's going to be a nightmare for the Eagles.
Well, listen, at full strength, it's difficult to defend what the Saints provide you on the offensive side of the football. But yeah, Jim Schwartz is going to have to mix personnel. There's going to be some young guys out there. Listen, you got to sink or swim at this point in time in the season. And when you're dealing with injuries, it's a next man up mentality. So we'll be able to see who Jim Schwartz feels like he can trust out there against an offense that gives you a variety of sort of formations and things they like to do with those two running backs.
Like the Eagles defense gave up 171 rushing yards, a lot of it to Ezekiel Elliott. They couldn't stop the run. That's the thing they like to do the most. What are the Saints going to try to do against the Eagles defense now after seeing that?
Well, listen, we know they run the ball very well. And the Eagles, you just got to do a better job tackling. Do what got you to be the number one, number two rushing defense in this league, and that's getting 11 hats to the ball. That's playing fundamentally sound defense, everyone doing their job, being in your proper gap, and when the opportunity is there for you to make a play, you got to make the play.